Welcome to Insights, where we take a look at the 4 different temperaments and get to know ourselves a little bit better and those around us. Today we are going to be looking at the Sanguine personality. The Sanguines are wonderful. They're so much fun. They bring the party. If we had a song, Celebration would be one that they could just sing over and over because that's how they see life. And I'll do you a favor by not singing it. But if you look at the lyrics, or if you want to listen to it yourself and think of Sanguine in your life, you will probably get a little chuckle out of that. Sanguines, from the time they are little, want to be around people. They want your attention. They will coo, they will ooh and ah, make all sorts of little noises. They might speak earlier than the rest of your children in your family because they love to talk and they love to share. They want your attention. If you have them in a bassinet and you go from one room to another, they will not like it unless you pick up that bassinet or that little car seat and travel, take them with you so they can be keeping you in their eyesight at all times. The 4 basic things that Sanguines need that you might want to jot down in their temperament is they like approval, they like attention, they need affection, and they need acceptance. And if you have those 4 things being met in their daily routine, maybe not all 4 at one time, but just interspersed, you're going to find that your Sanguine is a much happier person, and their needs, and those are needs, are being met. And so they will get those needs met one way or another. And so we want to kind of talk about some good ways that you can, things that you can do with your spouse, or maybe a son or daughter, maybe your teacher in your classroom, so that you will see ways that will be very effective and not detrimental. One of the things that the Sanguines like to do is tell stories, and they want your undivided attention when they are doing that. And so they will add lots of spice and flair and emotion to their stories. If it's a spouse, when they come home, they want to tell you about their day. They want to tell you what happened in the morning, where they had lunch, what they ate, and share. Now, if you are very, very busy, which we are all very busy and have hectic lifestyles, you might have a tendency to say, let's do that later. That is a key word that Sanguines do not like. So I would advise that you try to not use it in your vocabulary. Think of a different way. For instance, if you say, I've got 5 minutes before I need to go do whatever it is, mow the grass or whatever, but I'd love to hear what happened to you today. And if you sit down, give them 5 minutes of undivided attention, make sure you've got a lot of eye contact going on. That will be a feather in your cap, so to speak, and a feather in their cap, because they know that you've given them the attention that they so crave and that they need, and then you can go on and do whatever it is that you need to get done. Now, the rub here comes in when you do say something like that. You have to mean what you say what you mean, and don't be mean when you do it. Because if the Sanguine gets away with turning on their charm, which they are very, very good at doing, and you budge on that, and before you know it, their story is getting longer and longer, and they say, well, I didn't get to finish. And if you let them get away with that even one time, the lesson that they will learn is, well, I just need to turn on more charm. And if I turn on more charm, then I can get things my way, and so then that will be a double whammy, and you will not have made any progress at all. The Sanguine child is ups and downs. They have a lot of highs, and when they're high, they're really high with excitement and energy, and when they're low, they're pretty low. And that can just happen like in a blink of an eye. You can see them 1 minute and ask them how everything's going, and it's just super. And then the next minute they can be very sad and depressed, and you can ask them what's going on, and it's just basically they think their best friend is not their best friend anymore. So if you know these things and you can accept them, that's just part of their personality, it will help you realize that these ups and downs are going to come, and of course they will probably be more substantial in the teen years. So you're just with the hormonal changes that we all have, and so you just want to try to help them through those as best you can. Do not dwell on them because they're not doing it on purpose. It's just how they're wired. They also have troubles with follow through. So in the classroom, it can be quite a challenge for a teacher. They've got some 20 plus students, and if all of them wanted to tell their stories, there wouldn't be time for anything else. So the students have to learn how not to interrupt or think that all the attention should be just on them. So you can help them with that. And maybe from the age 9 and under, they will have troubles with trying to realize that even though they could make the other person's story a lot more spiced up, that's not their role. That's not what they are called to do. That person has an opportunity to share whatever he or she wants to share, and that they need to remain silent until it is their turn. Follow through is difficult for sanguines. Again, they live in the moment. That's why they don't like that word later. And so turning in assignments will be problematic. Just following through will be a bit of a challenge. So you might think, well, let's just get a checklist going. Checklist would be great if it was a choleric, melancholy, or a blend, even for a phlegmatic. But for sanguines, they're not even going to remember where this checklist is. And then they're not going to have a pencil or a marker. And so it's really not going to be that advantageous to try and get them on a checklist system. The better way would be for you to help model, and also for you to help develop those skills. Let me think of an example. If you were going someplace, the sanguine child kind of kicks their shoes off wherever. One might be in the backyard, the other one might be in the car seat. If they need their glasses, they don't have a clue where they had them last or where they took them off. So as a parent, you could help get their outfits lined up ahead of time for the event you're going to be going to, or maybe even just the daily routine for school. But don't make it a drudgery. That will be a double whammy for them and also for you. So make it fun. Say, hey, let's lay out your clothes and make sure we have everything there for tomorrow, and let's see if we can make it even look like you. Maybe we'll take a picture of it. Whatever, add the element of fun. Then your sanguine will be engaged, whether it's practicing for the spelling words, which they most likely won't want to do. Many of them have a very sharp memories, but they won't want that. They don't like that word work. That's a 4-letter word that they do not like. And so, and when you're practicing or studying for something, again, have it be more like a game or a song, something that will stick with them, that they will be able to relate to. They will like to be in everything that they possibly can be in when it comes to school. Lots of different clubs and opportunities, especially after junior high. And so, but the follow through there is not going to be, is going to be the concern, because life to them is just fun, 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 and it should be for all of us. But you have to help them with the guardrails, because if they sign up for too many things, they won't be able to keep those commitments, and you will be able to tell them there's only 24 hours in a day. I know that you want to do all these things, but you're going to have to make choices. Don't let them just try to sign up, and that's setting them up for failure. When they enter a room, if the lights are all off and maybe you're taking a little rest, they don't mean to be disruptive, but they just cannot possibly imagine how anybody could enjoy that. They'll come in, usually you hear the door bang, they flip on all the lights, they say it's too quiet in here, what, did somebody die? They'll want to turn on the music and add, like I said, the spark. This is just, again, it's fun, it's what you want in your life. Another song that they would probably really relate to is What the World Needs Now is Love, Love, Love. They are real loving, charming personalities. From the time they were little, if you were at a restaurant with them, they're the ones, it's not by accident, they're sitting there in their high chairs or whatever and looking around the restaurant at all the other guests, and it's more or less like, notice me, and then they give one of those sideways glances or smiles, and the people around them are delighted and will say things like he or she, they're just so adorable. And so from that time on, you will see this is something that they crave. The world is a stage to them, figuratively and literally. They do see it like that. And if they go to school, when they go to school, it's for the fellowship of it, it's for the fun, it's for the associations that they will make. If they happen to learn something on the side, that's just a plus. They will be liked by their classmates. They will bring the joy and the wit and the humor. They can easily turn into the class clown if the teacher doesn't provide for some of those needs to be met in good ways. The child, again, that's just something that they need and are wired, and so they will try to get that in one way or another. They are not very good at memorizing the names of the classmates. If you ask other boys or girls in different temperaments to name as many of classmates as they can, they'd probably be able to give you a long list. Sanguines will honestly stumble over that. It's something they don't associate, is the name with the face sort of thing. Now in the business world, you can see where that can become a bit of a problem. And so you want early on to try and help them realize names are important. Now they could probably tell you everything about their classmates, even what they wore last Tuesday or what they like to eat for lunch, but they won't necessarily be able to tell you the names. And so that's, again, something that you can work on. Turning in assignments, meeting deadlines, just even remembering to finish the assignment can be a bit of a challenge. A lot of sanguine kids might be diagnosed as attention deficit disorder, but it's something that goes along with this temperament. And again, once you're aware of it, try and think of good positive ways that you can help them to learn that deadlines are important and they do need to meet them. If you have a son and a daughter, or two sons that are, if you're thinking about sports or what they're going to be in, I want to give you a couple of things to think about. If the older child is very good at whatever he or she is participating in, let's say you have a son that's a choleric that is excelling at baseball and maybe hits lots of home runs, maybe the pitcher on the team. So your tendency as a parent is going to be, well, let's have the younger son or daughter also go into the same sport. You've got all the equipment, you've got the cleats, you've got everything that you need for that. So it just kind of makes sense. Okay, where the rub is if you have, and they're both cholerics and they're in the same sport, that might work, because if the younger one will enjoy the challenge too of maybe if the one got 2 home runs, the younger one's going to try and top that and get 3 home runs. It's the competitive nature of that temperament. If you have like a choleric and then a sanguine blend, the younger one being the sanguine, always in the shadows of the older one's footsteps, not necessarily a really good approach. I would say that the sanguine should find their own sport that they can shine, and I do use that word on purpose, that they can shine on their own and not be in the shadows of the older the older brother or sister. And so you might want to keep that in mind. Now, I mentioned before that sanguines have quite the wit, and again, that's what kind of makes them fun to be around. And so I like to use personal stories, and our two granddaughters came over for a sleepover not too long ago, and the one just loves my French toast, and she's more of a choleric, melancholy blend. No two people are ever the same. We all have our own DNA, but we do have, when you take the test, you can see where you would fall. And I would say that she is definitely more of a choleric, melancholy blend. So she likes to help me prepare the French toast, cook it. Work is something she just enjoys doing, and she just enjoys the flavor of it. Now the younger one is more sanguine, and she kind of got into that because Grandma was making it fun. But she doesn't really care for French toast, but she said she was willing to try it this time because she's gotten a little bit older and it had been a long time since she'd had it. So we went ahead and we made it, and then to add some fun, I took a shaker and put powdered sugar in it and said, now you can sprinkle the powdered sugar all over the French toast and make it look like it snowed. Now that, I was speaking her language. She was just thrilled about that. She had so much fun shaking that powdered sugar. It went all over. It went all over the plate. I mean, there was so much powdered sugar on there. And so I thought, well, now maybe she'll really kind of enjoy the flavor or whatever. But as I looked over at her, I could see she wasn't even taking a bite. So I waited for a few seconds to see if she would. And then I said, are you not hungry this morning? And she thought for a minute, and then she smiled up at me and said, Grandma, I really don't like cold things. So you can see the wit that they have. It's just, original. It's just fun to be around. This is not an intelligence comment regarding the schools in any way or their achievement. It has to do with just their personality types, and again, remembering those 4 things that they definitely need. You all need to remember too that the follow through there, and sometimes it's best to just pick your battles. Messiness is something that they don't mind. They kind of want their room to be messy, and if you want to have it be a constant battle, go for it. But my suggestion to you would be to pick the things that you know really need to be addressed, and the other things, just that's what the door is for. Make sure and close it so that you don't have to look at the mess if that's something that would bother you. And keep in mind, nobody else is really probably going to ever see it. I really hope that some of these suggestions have helped you. We will come back again to the sanguines because there's just so much content. It's hard for me to put everything in and at one time. But for right now, it's been a pleasure. And remember to love God, love your neighbor, and love yourself. See you next time.